Mom saw her son going downstairs with her own eyes. But strangely, Dad had been waiting downstairs for 6 minutes and still hadn't seen any sign of his son. School was about to start, and he was going to be late, so he impatiently called to urge them. Unexpectedly, his wife said the child had already gone down. At this moment, the couple finally realized something was wrong, so they quickly met up in the stairwell. But there was no sign of their son in the hallway either. At this point, they still hadn't realized the seriousness of the situation. They thought maybe their son didn't want to go to school, so he had snuck back home to hide. It wasn't until they searched the entire house that they realized their son was nowhere to be found. Now, the couple finally panicked. The wife started blaming her husband. She said he must not have looked carefully, and their son had already snuck out. But the husband said his car was blocking the entrance. Suddenly, the husband thought of something. The girl downstairs often tutored their son, so they immediately went down to ask her, but no one was home at the girl's place. Then they asked all the neighbors, but still found nothing. Finally, the husband called the police. Soon, the police arrived at the scene. After learning that the child went downstairs at 7:40 and then mysteriously disappeared in the stairwell, they began investigating the building. They discovered the entire building had only 7 floors, and there was no rooftop access. When the police asked the husband if he'd had any conflicts with anyone in the neighborhood recently, the husband thought for a long time, but couldn't come up with anything. He just silently looked at the black car nearby, as if he had something he wanted to say, and at that moment, the officer who was checking the surveillance footage arrived. The surveillance didn't capture any footage of the child going downstairs. The police had no choice but to go upstairs with the husband to investigate. They found that the safety windows in every room of his home were intact. The child couldn't have climbed through a window to a neighbor's place, but when the officer inadvertently turned around, he suddenly noticed the husband quietly hiding a note in his pocket. This bizarre behavior left the police completely puzzled, but they didn't call him out on it. And just then, a neighbor at the door suddenly spoke up. "Have you checked 302? The police were confused. The husband explained that his son really liked playing with the girl in 302. After hearing this, the police immediately rushed to 302, but no one answered no matter how long they knocked. They had to have the property management contact the owner of 302. They learned it would take an hour for them to return, so they had to go to other neighbors' homes. They discovered that the little boy was usually quite mischievous. The couple's relationship wasn't good either. They often fought. After the police gained an understanding of the case, they began checking each floor. They found the child wasn't at anyone's home. Then, in order to find the child as quickly as possible, they decided to search downstairs in the neighborhood first. Unexpectedly, they discovered a new clue. The police found that the soil in the flower bed had been disturbed. They instantly thought of something.